Motivation is a bunch of nonsense. People are made to feel like motivation is a feeling or like a state of mind that you can achieve, when actually all it is the reason or reasons that you want to do something. Whether it's a YouTube channel, a stream, a book, a blog, even just a drawing, we all have a creative dream that we want to achieve, and it's time we start going for it. So why is it so hard to get started? Why does your mind make you put things off or give up on things so easily? Maybe you've had to go to work a bunch or focus on school. Maybe you've just been endlessly scrolling on your phone or got caught up doing other important things. So when you finally sit down to start creating, you're already burnt out and unmotivated. It's okay. And it happens to all of us, and in a few minutes time I guarantee you'll feel way more motivated and ready to create. I don't care how many times you think you failed or brushed your dreams aside and just thought that this would never happen for you, because I know that you have the potential to create greatness. If you're new to the channel, I welcome you with open arms. Thank you for being here and feel free to stick around. Now I like to think that there's a 4-step process to feeling motivated enough to effortlessly create. I'll be going through that in this video, but first we need to figure out your reason why. Your reason why can be the biggest roadblock and barrier to entry for your creative mission. And this is why a lot of people end up feeling like they can't do what they set out to do. Just think about it. If you're going to create a YouTube channel, a Twitch stream, a business, and your sole reason for doing that is just to make a whole bunch of money, that's great and that's super ambitious, but now you're setting yourself up for the beginning of your journey to be severely unmotivated because you're not going to be getting the results that you want long term straight away. Compare this, for instance, to someone in the same situation that's making these things because they just enjoy doing it. This person's already going to be way more set up to achieve their goals because their motivation isn't going to hinder their progress. It's not going to stop them from wanting to do. You need to be brutally honest with yourself about your reason why when you consider what you want to create. The reason why this is a great starting point is then you can grasp onto your motivation a lot easier, because the reason why is your motivation. It will also help you to set more realistic goals right at the beginning. But anyway, the first step towards motivation is preparation. You need to give yourself the best chance to focus and lock in. And distractions, they really do come for us all. You're not a bad person for being distracted. It's just human nature. This can be really hard for some people, but it's so achievable no matter what. I have ADHD personally, and sitting down and focusing on one thing for multiple hours at a time, it can feel impossible most days. But there are steps that I take that gives myself the best possible chance to create in a kind of flow. The first thing you're going to want to do is allocate time. Set yourself aside a specific hour or a whole day if you need it. So in your mind, you can expect and prepare to know that you're creating in this time frame. Another thing to do is set yourself a limit on something that you find yourself distracted by easily. The bane of my life can sometimes be TikTok and just general social media. How many times you've been sat or led down somewhere just scrolling through your phone endlessly, and then you end up feeling crappy that you just wasted your day away. This can hinder your motivation so easily and so quickly. This might sound cheesy, but I counter this by just putting my phone in another room whilst I work on my projects, and then I allow myself to check it every hour for about 5 minutes tops. This helps me separate my distraction from my work, and it feels like a reward when I go to check it. And sometimes I'll get so locked in that I just forget to check it anyway, and that's even better. The motivation towards distractions comes so easily and more quickly than the motivation to actually doing creative work. But it is so much more fulfilling to complete a creative project and then look back at it on the end just to prove to yourself that you can do it. The next step is a real make or break moment. So you've set aside your time, you've removed all your distractions, and you finally are sat down and you're ready to create, but then you go completely blank. It's so frustrating, but it's okay. Motivating yourself into a creative flow of things is difficult, and unless you've got a full plan or a clear-cut idea right at the beginning, it's hard to create. It takes a lot of thought and a lot of energy, and you have to remember not to break in these moments. This is a crucial turning point where you either continue into your creative endeavor or you just return back to distraction. My first way to combat this is think firstly to your inspiration towards creating your current project. Why are you making it? What or where or who can you look at to give you an inspiration boost? Obviously, don't go copying people word for word, but looking at other creatives in your space and general area can give you a massive motivation boost to get started, because motivation and inspiration just work hand in hand. The next thing that helps me when I've just sat down to start is to break tasks into smaller chunks. It can be really daunting to think about the grand scheme of the project, but if you break it down, it becomes much simpler. If you're making a video, for instance, just start with a title or an idea, then move to the thumbnail, maybe script it, then record the first segment, and sort of break it down in your mind like this. If you're planning on streaming, set up your stream software, turn your lights on, get the game ready, break it down. The benefits of this is it just takes such a gargantuan task and makes it feel like less overall in your brain. It's way more manageable and it can stop you from being overwhelmed and just giving up altogether straight away. The last thing I do in this step is I just lower my expectations of myself for the first half an hour to an hour of working on something. Just play around a bit, get your ideas and the framework down, even if you think it's sloppy at first. You can always change things you're unhappy with later when you're more in the zone. This essentially warms up your mind to be in a creative place, and it gets you motivated just by starting. You're only human, you can't make a masterpiece out of thin air. You've got this. Okay, so you found yourself some time, you removed your distractions, you've got some inspiration and you've broken your tasks down into small manageable chunks, and then you've sat down and you've started. This is finally the moment where things will start to click into place. You'll naturally progress into this flow-like state, and it can last hours sometimes, and you'll feel great about creating in these moments. It will feel endless and even addictive sometimes, and this is basically the peak moments in your mind where you're creating in the same ways that you've kind of hoped you could. You know your motivation in this moment, and you can see your reason why right in front of you. Because before you go over that starting line with a project, it can feel really messy. Even when I started this video, I was worried if it was even a good idea and worthwhile to make. And trust me, every time you set out to create, things will go wrong. But you need to just keep moving, go through the motions and put one foot in front of the other and set yourself up for success with steps like these. If you get stuck on a certain part of a video, move on to a different part. If you're stuck on a chapter you're writing, move on to the next chapter. If you're burnt out streaming a certain game, pick a different game to stream. You just have to keep on going in these moments where it feels rough. Remember to just keep pushing through all the difficult moments and be grateful for them. Learn from them, because it might help you in the future when you're creating something again. You can really trip up at this stage by feeling unmotivated because you're not immediately getting the gratification of your long-term goals. Like I said, if you're starting this because you want to make money or become a Twitch partner, gain loads of YouTube subscribers, remember, these things don't happen overnight. Everything that you're doing right now is setting yourself up for those future goals. It's going to happen for you if you keep doing this consistently. You're changing your life as you're doing this, and you're changing the lives of others with your creations as well, so keep going. And then arguably as equally as important as the last step, the fourth step is recuperation. When you get your motivation in check and you hit that flow state of creating for hours on end, maybe even a full day, you need to recover and you need to take it just as seriously as all of the other steps leading up to this. Just make sure you go for a walk or play some games, have some food that you like, just anything that helps you unwind for the day after creating so much. And if you didn't finish an entire project today, that's fine. Don't overdo it. Don't be stressed at yourself for not getting something done in its full entirety. Just be proud of what you did do today. Getting yourself motivated and then actually creating something, it's not an easy process in the slightest. And if you improved on yourself even the slightest bit today, that's so much progress overall. If you keep doing this daily and improving on yourself, you're just going to get better with time and you'll fall in love with the process. And hold on to that fulfilling feeling you get from completing something or doing the work that you need to do. It will become more natural and more easy for you to feel motivated as things grow because you're just building up these skills within you. But that's it, that's my thoughts. Hopefully you feel even just a little bit more motivated now. If this helped you out in any way at all, a like goes a long way and I'd love it if you'd stay, so hit that subscribe button to join this journey and see more content just like this. But with that being said, I think it's time for you to go and create.